Hey everybody. I'm sitting here. Woke up this morning in screaming pain. So I thought I would get up, and I figured since I was already in pain, I'd get up and get some stuff done, which has amounted to, well, I started some laundry, so you might hear the dryer buzz in a little while. And I thought I'd sit here and do some diamond painting and maybe tell you the story of why my channel is named the way it is, with the spelling as it is. I think I've mentioned that I've got rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it at least since I was 20. That was when I was diagnosed. As you can see, my hands are quite wonky. I do the live long and prosper without trying, when it's, this hand's just about as bad. I'm left-handed, which is why my left hand is worse. In high school, this had already started doing this part. So I got up this morning. I need to get in the shower. I can't even lift my right arm, so showering was not going to happen. So I did basically a sponge bath, which was about all that was going to happen this morning. Anyway, so the reason the RA is capitalized in my channel name is because I have RA, which stands for rheumatoid arthritis. So I had an official diagnosis when I was 20, which was diagnosed as juvenile rheumatoid arthritis because I was under the age of 21. Just barely. I think it was diagnosed in March and I turned 21 in May. So I was working, and I got up one morning and I had severe swelling in this knuckle. I mean, it was huge, red, swollen, painful. So I went to the doctor, and they did blood work, and they're like, well, single joint inflammation is a symptom of gonorrhea. Yeah, that was all fun and games. They give me 2 penicillin shots, which gave me bruises in my arse that were huge on both sides. That was fun. Tried to get a hold of the guy I was dating. Could not reach him. Probably a good thing I didn't. Next day, it was gone. So I was like, well, still trying to get a hold of the guy I was dating. So the day after that, so say that was a Monday, on Wednesday, this knuckle, the one next to it, huge, red, swollen, painful, very painful. Back to the doctor, more blood work. And the doctor comes in, she goes, well, I think I know what you've got. And I'm like, oh? She goes, well, your rheumatoid factor, however they measured it back, this is 36 years ago, on Monday was 600 and something. And at the time, it was supposed to be under 100 was normal. And today, it's 1,200 and something. And keep in mind, my mother has had 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 rheumatoid arthritis since at least the age of 18. Her dad had it. Her grandmother had it. As far as we knew, I guess I should start working on my diamond painting, huh? As far as we knew, her grandfather had it, or her great-grandfather had it. So, yeah, there was that. It's very hereditary in my family. Very much so. So, I was upset. Very upset. Because I've watched my mother struggle with this all my life. And she never got down. Never. Never complained. She did everything without saying how bad she hurt or how never said she couldn't do something. She just figured a way. But I watched her struggle. And I knew how much pain she had. And I didn't think I had the strength to do it. I still don't think I have the strength to do it. Especially when I wake up like this morning with my shoulder hurting so bad, I was done. I was ready, stick a fork in me. I was done. And no, I'm not saying I'm suicidal, because that's not what I'm saying, because that is never an option with me. I was just, I don't know if any of you know what pain is. I know some of you do, because I know at least one of my subscribers goes through it on a daily basis. So, but, yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, I was ready to go just play in traffic, I guess. I don't know. It hurt. And, you wake up like that, and it's just, you're behind the pain, and you can't play catch up, and it seems like nothing you do can fix it. And anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to explain where I was this morning when I first woke up. My cigarette went out. So I'd watched my mother struggle with it, and I was upset. And I called home. And I don't know what I would have said if my mom answered the phone. I really don't. I think I need to reload my pen. I use micro glue dots in my pen, and they work really well until they decide to get really wedged down in there, I guess. Maybe I just need to put another one in there. But I have 4 in there, and that's generally way more than enough. But I got a new pen tip from Everlasting tips. It's a better tip, I think. So, anyway. So, where was I? Okay, I called home. And my dad never answers the phone. He hates to talk on the phone. Hated to talk on the phone, I should say. He never answers the phone. My dad answered the phone. And he answered the phone, and I just started bawling. And I told him what they said. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And he talked me through it. He's like, you know, your mom did it, you can do it too. And never once did he put Mom on the phone. He just talked me through it. And told me, you can do this. And I did. And we tried lots of different things, trying to find something that worked, that would try to slow it down before it really geared up. You know, didn't seem like anything worked. Mama was on gold shots. Yes, real gold. She got them for 20 some years, and they worked wonders for her. Didn't help me at all. By the time I was 24, I needed both my knees replaced, but I was too young and too heavy. God, I got heavy. Because I got to where I couldn't walk very well. I needed my knees replaced. I'd had my left wrist fused because the metatarsal bones in my wrists had on both wrists had completely collapsed. So my left wrist was fused surgically. So get this. My wrist doesn't bend at all. This wrist fused itself. That's all the motion I have in that wrist. But on the plus side, I can't get carpal tunnel syndrome. Yay for me. But I do things and I think I'm bending them. You know, it's funny what you can get used to. So, it's, and the changes with my fingers happen so gradual that you don't even realize it, because it happens just little tiny bits at a time. I mean, the wrist, no, that happened really fast. When I was working, I would be writing something and it would just cramp up all of a sudden. And I would throw my pen across the department. The girls got really good at ducking. It was get it out of my hand as fast as possible. That was basically, yeah. So, I'm hoping that sun's not glaring too bad on you guys. I can't tell how bad it is, but anyways, so, yeah, they diagnosed me at 20. By 24, I had my wrists fused, or my left wrist fused surgically. There's it looks like a carpenter staple in here. You would be surprised how many people ask me if I've had carpal tunnel surgery on my wrists, because I've got these scars on the back of my wrist. It's like carpal tunnel surgery is done down here on this side. So, but Yeah. And the surgery on this one was all to fix, I shredded the extensor tendon to this thumb, and the surgeon that went to fix it, 2 weeks after I did it, he said usually he can find the tendon, because that tendon generally only starts right about here. He says he can usually find it within 2 weeks, because it starts about here, only goes to here. It's the one that lets you go like this. Yeah, like this. So, anyway, he couldn't find it. It snapped so hard I figured it was up around my shoulder somewhere. But you have 2 tendons that go to this finger. So he moved one over from here over here. So now when I cross my fingers, my thumb moves. Anyway, you actually have a spare somewhere. I forget where it is. I think he said down here someplace. But in doing that, he also cleaned up all the tendons here so that... But that was... Okay, this was when I was 24. This was when I was... Let's see, I got married when I was 92. That was when I was 27. And this was done in 97, I think. It's just before I moved to Oregon. I moved to Oregon in 98. So, somewhere around there. Gotta get a drink. Hang on a second. Anyway. That's just to explain the scars and how fast things went. But, yeah. So in 4 years, I had to have my wrist fused. I needed my knees replaced. They didn't have a whole lot of major drugs that helped like they do now with the biologics and the Enbrel and the, oh, I can't think of all of them. Orencia, Humira, all of those. And trust me, I have tried pretty much all of them. I am now on Rinvoq, which is my last-ditch effort of what can help me short of a 5-hour infusion that they don't know that they can do here in town. I would probably have to go to Sedalia, or not to Sedalia, I live in Sedalia. I would have to go to Columbia, which is an hour drive, sit there for 5 hours at least, and then drive home, which I couldn't do because I was taking care of my mom. So I can't keep this cigarette lit. I didn't like just a new one, so don't think I smoke quite that much. Anyway, so I say anyway a lot, I know. I'm trying not to say so much. But, yeah. So I've been on so many different medications. But, story of me. Okay. So back then, I ran the gamut of trying to find a medication that worked, that kept things in check, at least. And working and the stress that some of that caused, because I had a boss who was an asshole, and yeah, he was a major asshole. I transferred out of his department, and I was dating a guy in a band, and I went to, let's see, they were playing a club in Westport for St. Patrick's Day, so I go down there. He's reserved me a table in front of the band. I get there, the table has been the reservation's been canceled. They had to find me a table because I didn't cancel my reservation. The next day I can't walk because my feet are hurting so bad. Come to find out that the metatarsal bones, metacarpals in your wrists, metatarsals in your feet, have pretty much collapsed, like the metacarpals in my wrists. So, I had to call into work. So that day, my ex-supervisor goes up into my new department and stands there in the middle of my department and claims that it's all in my head. I had just had too much to drink and I was hungover, and that's why I called in sick to work. So when I came into work the day after that, my supervisor calls me into her office and tells me what he did. So I'm in tears and telling her that wasn't the case, that, yes, I had gone out. No, I had not been drinking that much, and, that it was awful. And she believed me. She knew he was an asshole. He was just, it's like if I was going to have something that was going to be in my head, it was going to be the flu. It was going to be something I could get over. It wasn't going to be something that I would have to pretend to have for the rest of my life. That would be stupid. And, I may not be that smart, but I'm definitely not that stupid. So, anyway. But anyway, that company, I worked there until they moved to Texas. But that's beside the point. We're doing the story of the rheumatoid arthritis. Right? Right. But we got, let's see. So we kept trying different meds until the next one didn't work, and then there was the fun of, I got married. I quit working. My ex didn't have me on his insurance, so I didn't have, if I didn't have insurance, I didn't have any medical coverage for for prescriptions. So I was self-medicating with ibuprofen for pain. The doctor had told me I could take up to 18 a day. I didn't quite get that high, but I got close. So, and that was all I was taking, was ibuprofen for pain. Then he got a job. He got a contract with Tektronix in Portland. And we moved to Oregon. And that seemed like a good job until they ended his contract early. And we're out there where the cost of living is really high. And trying to make ends meet with no money coming in. He didn't have a real good work ethic. For some reason, I have a hard time saying that. If I say it fast, it comes out worth ethic. Yeah. That guy's not the right size. Get a lot of those with this. This is a spell clean thing. And the drills seem to be really good, but there's a lot of every once in a while you find one of these little bitty ones. So anyway, but so I'd have periods of no insurance. But anyway, so the arthritis was just progressing and progressing and progressing and doing all sorts of fun stuff. Along the way, at some point, I had twisted my ankle in the way that, normally you twist it whatever way it normally, when you normally twist your ankle, it goes to the inside or the outside, whichever way it's most people do. Well, I twisted my ankle the other way because I'm just special like that. Walked around on it for 6 weeks. Hurt like crazy. Finally went to a doctor. Found out, he said that I had sprained it. And he put me in a brace that basically just made my shoes too small. It still hurt like crazy. But eventually it got to where I could deal with it. I found out 2 years later that I had actually broken my ankle. And the damage that it did was pretty spectacular, I guess you would say. So, yeah, that was fun. And I wound up needing a triple arthrodesis on my right ankle, which is, there's 3 joints that you use to make your foot go side to side. And they were supposed to fuse all 3 of them at once. So I have a doctor, and he's all scheduled to do this, and we've got it all set up, and my ex changes insurance, changes jobs, changes insurance. That doctor is no longer covered. I have to go to a new doctor. He's got it all set up. Yep, I can do this. Okay, you can do this. Great, we're gonna do this. Fan-flippin-tastic. I go in expecting to come out of this with it all set up, all fixed. I come out of surgery, I go home thinking it's all fixed. He's got me total non-weight bearing for 3 months. Great. I get home, I've got a walker with this paraphernalia on it because I can't do regular crutches, or a walker because because my wrists don't bend, I can't do the walkers and the crutches like most people, where they put their pressure on their hands or their weight on their hands. So I've got this contraption where you put your weight on your forearms. So anyway, I get up, I'm headed to the bathroom, and I'm hopping, and there's a flower out of my basket on the floor that my cat had pulled out. And I'm like, I don't want to step on it. I don't want to stop, and I was on a roll. I'll just hop over it. Yeah. Lost my balance, took 4 big steps backwards on my ankle, cursing the whole way. My ex was in the other room, and he's like, what's going on? He comes in, I'm sliding down the wall, tears rolling down my face because I, just now feeling like I've done damage to what was just done to my ankle. He helps me up, and I get to the bathroom. I'm lucky I didn't pee myself in my spectacular fall. But I managed to apparently not do any damage, but who knows? Maybe I did. So, get all that done. He's got me, like I said, non-weight bearing 3 months. Partial weight bearing 3 months. I'm in a boot for 6 months. Finally get to where I can walk, and I go in and I tell him, I feel like, something's pinching. And you can see on the x-rays, there's a bolt, 1 bolt. It's like this. There's a washer. It's like this. And when I walked, it felt like it was pinching. He's like, oh, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to go in and take that out. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, we're going to go in and take that out. And then once that heals, we'll go in and do the next joint. I'm like, what? Because, yeah. Because, then that'll heal and we'll go in and take that out. And then when that heals, we'll do the next joint. Like, it was supposed to be a triple arthrodesis. Oh, we're going to do them all individually. I'm like, no. Yeah. That's what he planned. That is not what I planned. So, I get a referral to the sports orthopedic doctor that did all the sports guys in Portland. And I go see him, and he's looking at it, and he's going, what? I was like, yeah, that's what I said. He's like, I can fix that. And he did. Unfortunately, because of the nature of rheumatoid arthritis, there is so much damage in that ankle that it hurts pretty much all the time. So, I'm pretty sure there needs to be more work done. In fact, I know there does. It hurts. But I don't know if I need to have the ankle addressed before I have the knee addressed. I don't know. Because I've had the left knee replaced. And I've put the right one off because I didn't feel like I could be off my feet while taking care of Mama. So, anyway. But it has been a rough road dealing with all this. And along the road, I got very sick somewhere around my 40th birthday, 35th birthday, I think. 2000 would be. Yeah, my 35th birthday. I got very sick. Spiking 103 fevers. Going to the doctor. She's referring me all over the place, trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody can figure it out. She finally sends me to was it internal medicine? guy. I'm not sure. And he finally says, okay, let's do a 24-hour catch. See if we can find something out that way. So we do that. He's like, you need to see a nephrologist. I'm like, great, another new doctor. But he sends me to Dr. Kennefic in Portland, Oregon. And he does some tests. He's like, okay, let's do a biopsy. Okay, sounds like fun. No, don't recommend that at all. Ever. No. Nope. Sorry, didn't mean to bump you. But we go and we do a biopsy. Can you even see what I'm doing? Am I so far out of frame? So we do a biopsy. That comes back. He brings me in and goes, you have rheumatic vasculitis in your kidneys. Okay, what's that? As well, you have enlarged blood vessels in your kidneys, and your kidneys are shutting down. I'm like, oh, fun. What do we do? Well, we're gonna put you on this medicine, and you're only allowed 2 liters of liquid a day, 2 grams of sodium a day, and prednisone, really high dose prednisone, 180 milligrams a day, or twice a day, I think. I blew up like a balloon with water weight. And yeah. So that was all sorts of fun. And then the side effects of that was, I'm like, all the water weight. Okay, we expected that. So they put me on Lasix. That was fun. No, it wasn't. Not at all. So then there was so Lasix. Okay. High doses of Lasix. And then started the cramping. I'm laying in bed and every muscle in my body would cramp at once. And did you know your tongue can cramp? Yeah. I'm talking every muscle at once. I would be laying in bed, curled in a ball. Every muscle in my body cramped. Oop. Sorry. So then there was the potassium. So I'm peeing like a racehorse, cramping like crazy. Now we've got these giant horse pills of potassium. And they're putting me in the hospital to get the water weight off. Trust me, if they put you in the hospital to get the water weight off, don't expect to sleep, because about the time you think you can go to sleep, they bring you more Lasix. And that what they bring you in the hospital is turbo Lasix. You do not sleep. But the potassium they give you in the hospital is a little bitty pill. Little bitty one. But The one they give you in your prescription is about that big. All sorts of fun. So I'm in the hospital, and they keep coming in and asking me if I'm diabetic. No. Why? Oh, no reason. Okay. So, okay. Every day. Are you diabetic? No. Why? No reason. Finally, Dr. Kennefick comes in. He's like, I'm like, why do they keep asking me if I'm diabetic? Oh, your blood sugar spiked over 400. But we expected that. You didn't tell me that. Oh, it's okay. We'll just start you on this. So I'm on another pill. Great. Add to my pills. Just what I wanted. Another pill. So I take my heart sister Sarah to see my rheumatologist one day, and they take my blood pressure, and it's some astronomical number of 280 something over 180 something, 168 or something like that. And her eyes nearly bug out of her head, and Dr. Sultani comes in, and his eyes nearly bug out of his head, and I'm like, what? Your blood pressure's really, really high. And Sarah, who at the time was in school to become an RN, who has since become an RN, is doing very well at that. Yay, Sarah. So proud of her. Anyway, so he goes, you need to go tell Dr. Kennefick that. I'm like, okay, I'll do that right when I get done here, because he was just downstairs. And I finish up with my appointment with Dr. Sultani, and we go out the door, and I start for the stairs, because he's just, Dr. Kennefick's just down one flight, you know, it's around the corner, down one flight, and Sarah's off to the, starts to the elevators, and I'm like, where are you going? He's just down one flight. She goes, you don't need to be going down the stairs. I'm like, I'm not going up the stairs, I'm going down the stairs. I can go down the stairs. Okay, so we go down the stairs, and it's right out, you know, go out the door to the stairs, and his office is right there. So we go, and I go in, and I tell Sue, his receptionist, I was like, Dr. Sultani told me that I'm supposed to tell Dr. Sultani or Dr. Kennefick that my blood pressure is blah blah blah. She's like, okay, I'll go tell him. So I'm standing there waiting. She comes back, and her face is all white. And she's like, have a seat, he'll be right with you. I'm like, okay. And they pull me back to a room, and he's like, okay, we're gonna put you on this medicine. I'm like, why? And he goes, your blood pressure's really high. And I was like, well, that's what everybody's saying, but, you know, he goes, but we expected this. I'm like, can you tell me what else you're gonna expect before it hits, so that I know, and then I'm not hit from out of the blue because you expected it? It just seemed kind of silly that, you know, you expected it, but I didn't know that you expected it. So, you know, everybody's freaking out, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm relaying information, not messages, as it's given to me. It didn't sound all that bad to me. My ex-mother-in-law's got me on my deathbed. I'm like, I didn't think it sounded all that bad. Apparently, I was Most people, according to the doctor, that develop rheumatic vasculitis in their kidneys only get about a year. Most of them don't make it that long. And trust me, I'm still looking for that expiration date because I haven't found it yet. But this was 2001. And he's telling me, you've got about a year. And it's now 2021. So, I'm apparently not done yet. These are all the fun things that you develop later that, like I said, I think I said this in a video before, if they find anything else, I don't want to know. Because I'm not done yet. Going along, I'm not feeling well, things hurt that aren't joints, it's like I feel bruised all the time. We've moved, I've gotten divorced, I've moved back to Missouri, we've moved back to Cassville, which is where I grew up. My best friend and heart sister, who I grew up with, my friend Trina, my sister Trina. Once we moved back to Cassville, man, if you saw one of us, you saw both of us. It was very rare for one of us to be seen without the other. So, anyway, she takes me to her doctor. He's like, you need to see a doctor that's better than the one I was seeing, because, I didn't have good insurance. I had Medicare. That's what I had. So she takes me to see her doctor, and he's poking and prodding. He's like, does this hurt? And I'm like, eh. And she's watching my face, because I don't like to complain. I do not like to. It's not me to complain. Because I don't want to, because I don't like people knowing that I hurt. And yes, I've spent the last 45 minutes telling you I hurt. So, I guess I'm just trying to explain what I go through on a daily basis. Anyway, but Trina takes me to her doctor, and she's watching my face, and she's relaying my facial expressions to the doctor as he's poking and prodding at me. And he's, I'm also kind of, wincing and guarding, and it's like everything hurt. He's like, yeah. So to top everything else off, I've got fibromyalgia. I've had anxiety issues since I was at least in high school. Because I was... Yeah. I was raped by a family friend when I was in high school. So, and that's the last I'm going to say of that one. Because that is, yeah, okay. So I've had anxiety issues since I was in high school. I don't do well in crowds at all. I mean, even in my own family, we have a family reunion every year, huge family reunion, and I have to get out and breathe, get away and breathe for a while. Hang on, Mom's clock's going off. So, yeah. So, I can't do big crowds. I can't do more than, 2 or 3 people. And then, I have to get away. Or at least move to where I don't feel closed in. I've been dealing with depression most of my life. I was bullied most of my life. My siblings bullied me. It just was. So, this is my life. So, that's who I am. So the RA in my channel name is capitalized because I have rheumatoid arthritis. And I hope this makes some sort of sense. And this is a channel where, you can come and talk about your autoimmune diseases, and I may not even post this. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of a rambling, get to know me kind of thing. So, let me know what you think. Hope you guys have a good day. Love y'all. Happy Sunday. Bye.